Hi, my name is Julio Franco. I'm Zappi's Chief Customer Officer. I'll be the person taking you through our platform demo. The demo that I'm going to give you is going to have three stages. Number one, how our users launch research projects so they can collect the data. Number two, how they can use that data to make specific business decisions about the innovations that they're going to launch in the market or the best ads that they're going to put in the market as well. And then number three, once they have a data lake that they can utilize, how they can leverage our platform for meta analytics and they can make bigger decisions for their business. All right, let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to call out is that every single time we onboard a customer, we give them their own custom domain to make sure that they have access to the relevant information within it. As you can see here, we're going to use Acme, which is our demo site. But we also use it for our own research. You'll see how we do some analysis about Super Bowl ads that we run on Acme, which is why we're using this. Obviously, for confidentiality reasons, we cannot share any of our customers' proprietary domains, but this will give you a good understanding. I'll also walk you through some of the basic information within the platform. You have some additional resources here about our company, about our products, some of our resources like ebooks and customer stories, as well as our knowledge base. But most of our users spend time in the projects and admin if they're an administrator. When it comes to projects, you can either launch a new one, which is where we are now. You can manage something that is currently in field, or you can analyze it. Today, we're going to spend a lot of time in new and analyze. The other thing is when we create a domain for our customers, we also generate different workspaces because, for example, a company like PepsiCo, they will split the organization by brand or by geography. So if you were to look at the Pepsi one here, you will have PepsiCo, and then you'll have Frito-Lay, Gatorade, and so forth, and that helps us tailor the experience for our customers. We also have a walkthrough in case you're not entirely sure what solution to use. This will help you get to that point. In this case, we're going to start with Prioritize It. Prioritize It is an early stage solution when it comes to innovation. I'm going to show you this for configuration, and then in the analysis part, I'll show you some solutions when it comes to advertising. Let's dig into it. The first thing that I'll do is I'll name my project. And then you can't see it here, but this is a domain from one of our customers that will include the different amounts that they have in terms of the credit. We also enable a credit card for our starter customers. We will go through some steps around configuration, and I'll explain to you what happens on the backside about it. The first thing is you select your country and then a category. In this case, let's say I'm going to check salty snacks. Once I do that clicking, our platform will prep the API that will send the invitations to our sample provider, Cint in this case, and it will set up the appropriate quotas of the right people that we want to talk to. We want to talk to people that have bought food and beverage shoppers in the United States with these age quotas, with these gender quotas in the following regions, so that we're prepped. So whenever the user launches the study, it can go straight into the fieldwork. That is the type of stuff that usually used to take something like a week or two just to get to the point that you were launching in field. Now we can just do it in a couple of minutes. The other thing that you'll see is here you can see the sample size, the price that will adjust based on the modifications that I will make to the survey, as well as give you an estimation of how long it'll take in field. I'll go through a few screens just to show you how a user can customize the data. That was custom questions. Here you can determine if the survey is for a price product or a non-price product. And then finally, what I will do is I will upload my stimulus, which in this case, I'll just take a bag of chips, and we'll include some information about it. The name of it, some benefits, and a full description. This all comes into play when it comes to the survey. You also see that we have some tags as well. This will help from an analytical perspective as well as from an organizational perspective. You'll see that in the analysis when we talk about metas. Finally, a custom question in case they want to ask something after the respondent sees the concept. And we are ready to go. I'll explain what happens in the backend. Once I hit next and pay, our platform through an API will send the description of the survey to Cint, the panel provider. And then the panel provider will send the invitations and the respondents back into our data collector. As you know, our data collector is probably the most advanced data collection method in the world, not only because it gives you the responses real time, but it also includes Gandalf. So whenever somebody comes in that doesn't align with our quality procedures, Gandalf will just do its magic and say, you shall not pass. It'll remove that respondent and it will replace them with a respondent that is actually appropriate for the survey. This enables us to make sure that whenever our users see data at the end of it, all of the data has highest quality in the market. So I just showed you how easy it is to launch a project. So this project will go into field and start collecting completes. And then at some point in time, you'll come in and analyze the data. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move away from the solution that we were working on before, and I'm going to move into an advertising solution. I want you to see the different breadth of business questions that we can answer at Zappi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch tabs, and I'm going to go to an advertising solution that we created with a whole bunch of brands. It's a lot more predictive of what happens in the marketplace. We've done some analysis, about 40% more predictive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select an ad. This is an ad that we ran in Brazil. It has 400 completes, and I'm going to show you the results. So I'm going to go into charts, and here is some of the results that you get. You're going to have sales impact, brand impact, and then all of your detailed metrics. There's many things that I can do here, and I'll show you the differences. But the other thing that I wanted to show you was you always have our platform writing a short description of what you see in the data there. What this allows you to do is make sure that a research manager doesn't have to write this from scratch. What happens is the platform, as it understands the data implicitly, it'll be able to write a little report for you. What I can do here is I can look at the results, but I can also look into different areas. For example, if I think that this is a product that is particularly important for young males, I can just go and switch and say, how does this perform again, males 25 to 35s? The platform will go back, will look at the data, remodel the data, and it'll rechart the data so I can look at the results for that particular audience. It'll also make sure that it compares the results to other males at 18 to 35s. This is not something that is done anywhere else. Nobody else can do this in the marketplace. So it'll do a dynamic benchmark comparison, not only towards the broader market, salty snack eaters, but also the males 25, 35. And then the report will also adapt the little report that it's written for you. So now you have seen how the results for this piece of advertising compares, specifically among males 18, 35s. And it also compares to 1,500 pieces of advertising that we've tested in the Americas. Now, what I can also do is I can compare this to my library. And I'm going to now select an additional 3 ads that are within the library. And I'm going to show you how the platform will allow you to go in and then remodel the data comparing all of these at one point in time. So I'm going to go into the same chart. So as you can see now, instead of having a single ad, we now can compare the 4 ads together and understand which is the best one to take to market. You know, in this case, it'll be these Ruffles one, but it allows you to do that analysis at any point in time. This is particularly important because that type of cross comparability that I can just do with 3 clicks here, it's something that in an analog world, you would have to go back, talk to the agency, compare the results, wait for the PowerPoint. In that process, it's one of the instances that would take, you know, an additional month or month and a half to get, which we just did in about a minute. Now, the report also updates, and you'll be able to see how you're comparing now, not just that one piece of ad, but then the 4 different ones, telling you which one is best, also comparing to 1,500 ads that you have otherwise. So let me now show you some of the different analyses that we would do in a situation like this. We've already established that this Ruffles one is the best ad out of the 4, but I want to really understand a couple of key things to make sure that it's actually resonating well. So here's where I'm going to go and look into some of the other charts. The first one that I'm going to look at is resonance. This was an ad that is particular. I want to make sure that it's perceived in a humorous way instead of like an aggressive way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at right here, how was that ad perceived second by respondents? This is also a big change when it comes to the analog world where you would have to get everybody in a room and give them a dialer. Now you can just do this at scale, which you couldn't do before. So as you can see, respondents are measuring, and I'll be able to measure what's the perception in terms of the emotions. I can already see that laughter is the one that it's perceived specifically. And this is a particular humorous moment that we wanted to check when she screams. What this tells me is the ad is actually doing what was intended. So it helps me make a decision in a much more informed way. Then the other thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I understand the verbatim. What we have done is we've created a machine learning algorithm that will read the verbatim and do an analysis of them. So I'm going to see what are the dislikes for this particular campaign and try to see if there's anything that is risky for me as a business. I have a little demo. So here what I can see is that there are some dislikes around the scenarios and I can dig real deep on that to try to understand what our respondent's saying to make sure that it's nothing that is impacting results. So I can see the verbatim. So it's here about the character, the use of the meme, but I can identify what are the risks. So now you have seen how our results will help make a decision on an individual point in time. What I'm going to do next is show you some of our meta analytics capabilities, which allows businesses to make macro decisions that impact not a single execution or a single campaign, but rather the way that they innovate or the way that they communicate their products to consumers. So now I'm going to show you more about the meta analytic capabilities that we have within our platform. This is when it gets really exciting because it not only allows you to make decisions about a particular campaign, but rather really big decisions for a customer. Like, for example, should I use a celebrity or not for my ads in the Super Bowl? These are decisions that our customers have done using our data. So I'm going to use this solution, which is a different advertising solution where we have tested a lot of Super Bowl ads. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how easy it is for me to go down from having a large database into something more specific. We did a test in 2018 about the Super Bowl ads. So I'm going to just find all the ads that are Super Bowl ads. As you can see here, I've narrowed it down, and then I can select some of these so I can drive some meta analytics. Now that I have selected all of the ads that we ran in 2018, as an advertiser, one thing that I would like to see is, has things changed since that point in time after having gone through a pandemic? So I'm going to go into overall performance, and I'm going to understand how all of the ads that I tested, so those 50 ads, split across the norm, which ones overperform, which ones underperform. Now, as you can see, there's some loading time here. What that means is our platform is going back, looking at all the data that was collected in 2018, roughly looking into 1.5 billion data points, and then reanalyzing it, remodeling it, revisualizing it. So it seems slow, but when you compare this to any type of analog experience, you're basically saving weeks and weeks and weeks of work, which is, it's actually pretty impressive. Okay, now you can see how the 50 ads that we tested in 2018 compare. As you can see, some are above the norm, some are with the norm, some are below the norm. But that is a norm of today. What I want to see is what happened in 2018. Was it dramatically different? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into 1st of February of 2018, and I'm going to assess if the scatter plot changes dramatically. This will take, again, a little bit of time just because the platform will once again repopulate the data. It'll compare not only to the ads that we have tested since 2018, but only to the ones in 2018. This type of flexibility is really important for our customers because they're able to have continuity while at the same time being able to review past data. Now, as you can see, the change isn't dramatic, so we can just assume the norm today or the rules that we had in 2018 still apply. So now that I know that the advertising world hasn't changed dramatically in the past 4 years, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search in our database for ads that were tested for the Super Bowl for 2022, and I'm going to do a more in-depth analysis around it. So we have 58 ads that were tested in 2022. With these ads, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into advanced analytics. I'm going to try to understand what are the drivers that are making these ads really impactful in market. So I'm going to use key drivers analysis. This is a typical type of analysis that we do in market research. We use a cross-cals algorithm. And what we have done is we've automated it. The difference between now and the analog world is while the cross-cals has been used for a long time, it used to be something that I had to send all of the data to my stats team. It would take about 4 weeks. They would charge me as an internal stakeholder about $10,000 to $15,000. And about a month later, I would really understand what was driving the impact of the ad. Now I can just do it with a few clicks. So what I'm going to see here is overall appeal. What is actually driving appeal? How can I make sure that my ad is appealing and therefore remembered? As you can see here, funny for people like me, easy to understand. So now I know I need to drive those things. It's a very clear thing that I can now action within my campaigns with a lot of statistical strength. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the key elements that each of these ads have and how they impact the performance. So we have a lot of different advanced analytics. I'm going to go on content theme analysis. This is a solution that we have built that enables our customers to try to understand what in the content of that advertising or that innovation is really driving the impact. What this will do is it takes all of the information that we have across all of these ads. It integrates the data and it compares it based on tags that I, as a user, has included, either at a corporate level, or if I can go and look into it, I'll be able to determine how that performs. These are some of the examples about it. I want to see if music is important when it comes to these Super Bowl ads. I want to see if it's important for me to license a song or not, and how it's going to impact the results. So I just selected music. I'm going to configure that to make sure that I can see results in a way that matter to me. I don't actually like to use the index. I want to look at the actual values and just see the results. So as you can see, across all of the metrics that matter, ads with a music tend to overperform those without a music. So whenever I'm trying to create a Super Bowl ad, it is a lot more impactful for those to have music than those that don't. Now, another really important thing for Super Bowl ads is the usage of a celebrity. So one of the things that we can look at now is, do ads that have a celebrity overperform or underperform those that don't? So I'm going to look at celebrity, yes versus no. I guess agents will be delighted to see that ads with a celebrity overperforms those without it. Another key thing within the Super Bowl is the length of the ad. When you're paying $6 million for 30 seconds, you want to know if your 30-second ad overperforms or your 60-second ad overperforms 15-second ads, so you can really manage your investment. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a comparison about ad length, 15, 30, and 60. 60-second ads overperform those that are 30. So the money is well spent. These are the types of findings that you can determine as a user of Zappi, and then you can make big decisions. If I were an advertiser here, I would say, include music, include a celebrity, and it is worth it to spend more time within the ad. That's the power of Zappi, where you can actually see the results in real time and make big business decisions. So you have now seen how our platform works. It was a quick demo. I'll be happy to give you something in more detail if that's something that you're interested in. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you for your interest in Zappi.